We're live at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. One of the most unusual sights in recent memory for a boxing match. This billion-dollar facility has become a celebrity in its own right, taking its place here alongside Manny Pacquiao as a major promotional feature leading up to this prize fight. Tonight, with the retractable roof closed, the sensational Manny Pacquiao takes on Joshua Clottey, a legitimate welterweight, the largest man yet to set foot into the ring with the Filipino star. As most of you know, Pacquiao has risen through the ranks from 106 pounds to 147 pounds with complete success in every weight class. Clotty will attempt to derail the Pacquiao Express here tonight. But before we get to our main event, a three-fight undercard beginning with fan favorite Irish John Duddy taking on Mexican Michael Medina. Then Jose Luis Castillo, who has fought memorable fights with Floyd Mayweather and Chico Corrales, faces Alfonso Gomez. And in our final fight before the main event, Humberto Soto fights David Diaz for a vacant lightweight title. Pacquiao versus Clotty is being brought to you by Cowboys Stadium, Cerveza Tecate, Cerveza con Character, brought to you by Ninja Assassin. Buy it on Blu-ray combo pack and DVD, March 16. Great wings and knockout taste. Wingstop, the wing experts. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. And hello again, boxing fans. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to this amazing night at Cowboys Stadium, where we're expecting a crowd perhaps as large as nearly 50,000. Almost all of them will be here, of course, to see the Filipino icon who has now become the symbol of boxing all around the world, Manny Pacquiao. And no, tonight's fight is not, as you had no doubt hoped and expected, against Floyd Mayweather. That fight, if it takes place, has to wait until sometime later on, as Mayweather has committed to fighting Shane Mosley on May 1, and tonight, Manny Pacquiao takes on Joshua Clottey, whom many regard as perhaps the most difficult opponent of his career. Our anticipated main event, but it was an hour and a half ago when Joshua Clottey arrived here at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, so expect Clottey to wind up spending considerably more than 3 hours in his dressing room prior to entering the ring tonight.
I see he's got the right color jacket on.
He is wearing Cowboys colors. And shortly after Clottey's arrival, indeed, let me edit that. An hour after Clottey's arrival, Manny Pacquiao with white chinky emerging from the Pacquiao vehicle, making his way in, followed by the now obligatory, large, seemingly ever-expanding entourage.
He's such a popular person, and he loves it. The more people that are around him, the happier he is.
I'm in the concession area, Jim, for people with field-level suites. This is also where the visiting team takes the field, so you can be as close to them at a game as these people are to me right now. And this is what it looks like. This is your point of view. If you're the visiting team getting ready to play the Cowboys, or if you're a fighter getting ready to take on Manny Pacquiao.
The perspective dominated, as you see, by the giant screen. Let's take a look at what's happening in Joshua Clottey's dressing room, where, as you can see, there's a representative group, many of them Ghanaian, like the fighter. Clotty has been living in the Bronx for several years, has an 11-year-old daughter who lives in Ghana. He says that she is the center of his life, the heart of his existence, and he does not want her to see him fight.
Zenat.
So she cannot be brought to America to see him fight. She cannot watch him on TV. It's a part of his life that he simply wants not to bother his daughter with. For hitting low. That could be critical in the fight. Now there's a look at Manny Pacquiao. Here in the Lone Star State, there's the smile, which has helped make Pacquiao not only the biggest star in boxing, but one of the biggest stars in sports or entertainment. Has any boxer at this level ever enjoyed it more?
I don't think so.
Our giant hotel was like a Filipino colony this week. And get that particular belt back. Then in our main event, Manny Pacquiao against Joshua Clottey. Once again, the Filipino icon is being asked to prove himself on the world stage. Clotty, a big, strong, hard-headed welterweight, never been knocked out. Now he faces Pacquiao, a superior boxer on an amazing hot streak. But first, let's take a look at our upcoming boxing shows on HBO and HBO Pay-Per-View. It had been believed by many that Manny Pacquiao might be fighting against Floyd Mayweather for pound-for-pound supremacy in the sport tonight. That didn't turn out to be the case. Joshua Clottey takes the fight. And after all the rumors and insinuations about supposed potential performance-enhancing drug use, Clotty says of Pacquiao, "I'm sure he doesn't use anything. I completely trust him. I know that I'm fighting him on the level, fair and square." Emmanuel, what are the keys to victory for Joshua Clottey to pull off the upset?
Well, it's very important for Joshua Clottey to, first of all, have better instructions from his corner. The last fight with Cotto, he gets knocked down, and instead of his corner telling him you're 2 points down, they told him you're winning, Joshua. And the last 3 rounds, they didn't urge him to come on. I think when he blocks punches, he needs to return punches right away and not let a guy throw about 5 or 6 punches like Pacquiao does and not follow up right away. He cannot have these mental lapses he seems to have in a lot of his fights where he seems to lose his total focus and concentration. And late in the fight, in case the fight is up in the air like it was with Cotto, which it could be, he's got to be willing to extend himself and get out of his comfort zone and take risks.
Emmanuel, it's speculated that he could outweigh Pacquiao by as many as 15 pounds when they unofficially enter the ring tonight. Or when they enter the ring, the unofficial weights that we take with an unofficial HBO scale may show that big a difference. We worried about the possibility of Cotto being too big for Pacquiao. It wasn't true. Would the weight differential make a big difference tonight?
It could make a big difference because he's a physically very strong guy and he fights tall, where Cotto was bending down so low that Manny was actually almost like the taller, bigger fighter. So he negated his weight and strength by bending too low, meaning Cotto. That won't be the case with Clotty tonight.
Joshua Clottey. Then let's take a look at the keys to victory for Manny Pacquiao.
For Manny to win this fight, first of all, he has to be prepared for a long fight. He cannot come out with the expectation of blowing Clotty out, like the rumors from his camp has been saying that he would be the first to knock him out. He cannot try to force a knockout if it's not there. And when he throws his best and hardest punches, he should try to time Clotty when he's coming forward, because when Clotty comes forward and punches, he stiffens his body and his head rises up, which means he's very vulnerable to get hit. That's how he was knocked down in the first round by Cotto. And when he punches, you got to move in and out. You have a lot of good versatile movement because he is very flexible and agile as compared to Clotty, which is a more stationary, rigid type fighter. And he's got to move away after he punches and not stay in one spot.
That'll be in the main event when Manny Pacquiao squares off with Joshua Clottey. 2 more undercard fights yet to go prior to that one.
Well, the first thing, Jim, that every guy at the very least wants to see when they come into Dallas Cowboys' new stadium is the giant 60-yard high-def TV screen. And I'm here in section C338, right below the Silver Suites. You know, Manny Pacquiao is going to run for Congress in the Philippines after this fight. One of his opponents for Congress says that that's going to be a jumping board for him to become Emperor of the World. Jim, if I were Emperor of the World, that would be my TV.
Max, we can get it for you wholesale. Just moments ago, the referee for the main event, Rafael Ramos, with final instructions to Joshua Clottey in his dressing room.
When I say break, I want you to break clean and obey my commands. Okay? Unintentional headbutt. Okay? If the fight could not continue, okay, it has to stop it before the 4th round. There's no decision. Okay? If the fight continue and I have to stop it, okay, then we go to the scorecard. Intentional foul, okay, is going to be 2 points deducted automatically, okay. I'm going to let you do your fight, a clean fight. You're a professional. They're here to see you. Okay? Good luck. Any question for me? Thank you.
Joshua Clottey's a man of few words.
In case of a knockdown, go to the farther neutral corner and stay out there until I call you. If you come out, I'm going to stop counting. Okay? A low blow, you got up to 5 minutes to recover. If you don't recover in 5 minutes, okay, you lose the fight by technical knockout. I don't want no retaliation. If he hit you with a low blow, I don't want you to hit him back with another low blow. Okay? When I say break, I want you to break clean and obey my commands. Okay? Unintentional foul. Okay? If I have to stop the fight before the 4th round, there's no decision. If the fight continues, okay, and I have to stop it because they caught, okay, we go to the scorecard. Intentional foul, I will deduct 2 points automatically. Okay? Once again, you know, you're the champion. They're here to see you. They're not here to see me. Okay? Do you have any question for me?
Sir.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, the Filipino icon is being asked to prove himself on the world stage. Clotty is a big, strong, hard-headed welterweight who's never been knocked out. Now he faces Pacquiao, a superior boxer on an amazing hot streak. But first, let's take a look at our upcoming boxing shows on... Excuse me, we are not going to promo here. There's a look at Pacquiao in his dressing room, and you can see that the wrapping of the hands has begun. It is Miguel Diaz, longtime veteran of this game who has operated in every role from trainer to cutman to chief second to assistant manager to bottled water carrier, whatever. And certainly Miguel knows as well as anybody how to wrap hands, right, Emmanuel?
He's wrapped a lot of hands in nearly all of the fighters that have been with top rank throughout the years, where he spent most of about 20-some years with. He's wrapped nearly all of those fighters' hands. Very experienced hand wrapper, good all-around boxer guy, and a fine person, too.
Greatly beloved is Diaz, and also aware that we're talking about him, of course. And look how nervous Pacquiao is, right? Now, meanwhile, here's Clotty, and the man in the foreground with the sweatband around his head is the man who will be training Joshua Clottey tonight, Lenny DeJesus, who has spent most of his career not as a trainer but as a cutman. In fact, he was in the past a cutman for Manny Pacquiao, but has been picked up as a trainer by Clotty because the trainer that Clotty wanted to train him tonight, Miguel Cotto, who worked with him apparently originally way back at the beginning of his career in Ghana, was unable to get a visa to leave Ghana and come to the United States. Clotty was very upset about it, had to cast about at the last minute to find someone to work with him, and there is Lenny in the foreground now reaching in to rewrap the hands. DeJesus working for the first time with Clotty, and now they want to adjust.
But see, the trick to the wrapping and tying the gloves, the lower down you bring the strings to the actual glove part themselves, lower down the wrist, the smaller the gloves feel. You have a lot more compact, a lot more power, and a lot more speed. And those guys were actually tying them up too high, so he's trying to tell them, bring it down lower. Right there is where you want to bring it, as close as you can. And that's where you get more of your power. Nope, they're still taking them up too high. He wants it right where the white part and the black separates. It's where there you go. That is where you get the most impact.
All right, the most recent opponent for Joshua Clottey is the same as the most recent opponent for Manny Pacquiao, and that's Miguel Cotto. Let's take a comparative look at how they did against Cotto. Clottey versus Cotto, Madison Square Garden, last June 13th. Round one, at the end of the round, Clottey stepped into a Cotto jab and went down, and that knockdown would ultimately prove highly influential in the scoring of the bout. By the middle of the bout, Clotty was stronger than Cotto and landing more. But when they collided in the corner, Cotto flipped Clotty off of his back, and Clotty went down in such a way as to momentarily hurt his knee. Still, he was back in control of the fight by the 8th round, gripping Cotto with hard shots in the middle of the ring. And at this point, it appeared that Clotty was going to be headed toward victory. But in the 11th and 12th rounds, Clotty did not throw enough. Too often standing and looking at Cotto, who threw more jabs than Clotty in those 2 rounds, and with a big edge in connected jabs, won the 11th and 12th and won the fight. That set up Cotto to fight Manny Pacquiao on November 14th. And Emmanuel, a lot of people wanted to see what would happen when Pacquiao got hit by a true welterweight. But before we could really find that out, Cotto was already down in the third round as the result of Pacquiao's speed. Now there's some of the leather that Cotto found him with.
But you know, he did hit Pacquiao with some good punches, but Pacquiao took all of those punches and never flinched.
In the fourth round, Cotto down again. Unable to see, as he later explained, where Pacquiao's punches were coming from. And from that point forward, Miguel Cotto was in retreat. And the fight could have been stopped in the 9th, could have been stopped in the 10th, could have been stopped in the 11th. Finally, Kenny Bayless stepped in and did his duty to a badly beaten up Miguel Cotto in the 12th round. The size differential meant nothing. Max, what about the CompuBox comparison?
Well, Pacquiao, you see against Cotto, threw more, landed at a higher percentage. And I'm not a mathematician, and I know styles make fights, but I think those numbers suggest what everyone seems to believe, that Pacquiao is better than Clotty.
Faster, throws more aggressive, lands more.
Jim, I'm looking over the standing room only area where at 4 o'clock the doors opened and people filled in and started jockeying for position. $35 for a ticket, $50 for parking. And once you pay that $85, you might want to rent binoculars for another $10 because it's a long way from the ring. That's right, you get banged out for $95 to be up here. Is it worth it, everybody? Is it fun? People seem to be happy, Jim. Now, normally, as fighters move up in weight class, their punch output doesn't continually increase. It's a heavier weight with more weight on them, and they find it harder to get off as many punches. In Pacquiao's case, he's increased his punch output since he was a flyweight, Emmanuel, all the way up to welterweight. He is unique in that regard.
But you know, so as you were saying earlier when we was talking before the camera going, he started at such an early age when he was just a kid. And I think the fact that he's so known for his workout training regimentation just as much as his fight, the same as Michael Jordan was for his practice sessions. The man trains like a machine. He goes 14, 15 rounds sometimes, don't want to stop. And so that attributes to the fact that I think he's taking his boxing a lot more serious now as his career has progressed.
And Soto. And now a group prayer in Manny Pacquiao's dressing room.
I lead the victory.
The group is large. That is absolutely a common element for Pacquiao.
Well, some fighters like that. A lot of fighters like a quiet dressing room, and a lot of fighters actually enjoy having excitement, a lot of people in their dressing rooms.
7 rounds complete, and now we go watch Joshua Clottey warming up in his dressing room. Earlier, we showed you a shot of Clotty asking to have his glove refitted and his hand rewrapped at the moment when first-time trainer Lenny DeJesus was supervising the wrapping of his hand. Since that time, we've been told that eventually Clotty had to ask for a different glove, that the first glove he was working with twice did not fit to his satisfaction. They found another glove and put it on, and it fit fine. So apparently everything is now okay.
Whatever's
with Joshua Clotty's hand wrap.
You try your gloves on when they have the weigh-in. You try the gloves on, and then you pick the pair that you want. You initial them, and the commissioner keeps those gloves with him, and he brings them and gives you your same gloves that you had fit in your hand. You said fit perfect. So I don't understand what could have been a problem.
Was for Pacquiao's last loss in his first fight of 3 against Eric Morales. It took place March 19, 2005. This was at a point when Morales was still close to his peak. This was a tactical fight with which Eric Morales ultimately controlled enough with his longer jab to win by a narrow margin against Pacquiao. Pacquiao was cut on his forehead by a headbutt, struggled down the stretch of the fight, And one of the things that De Jesus has said by way of trying to build Joshua Clotty's confidence is that Pacquiao is still the same fighter he was in March of 05 when he lost to Eric Morales.
He definitely is not the same fighter. He's a much, much improved fighter. I would say about twice as much what he's been. He's a phenomenal fighter now, punching with the right jab, the hook, great rhythm, good balance, everything. He's like a fine-tuned machine.
We've been talking about the joy with which Manny Pacquiao has approached everything recently in his career. And I suggested yesterday to Joshua Clottey that it's tough to fight Pacquiao because it's difficult to try to dislike him. You can't get angry at Manny Pacquiao. He's too nice, too much fun, too good a guy. Look at what happened at the weigh-in yesterday. That's Lenny De Jesus, incidentally, over Pacquiao's right shoulder, staring at the weight. We've been talking a lot about him. But watch what happened when Pacquiao and Clotty attempted the obligatory stare down. Okay, pretty good so far, but now Manny breaks up, Clotty breaks up. Okay, enough of the hard guy act. All right, so let's take a look at those officials who will control the main event between Pacquiao and Clotty. Referee Rafael Ramos, 20 years, 35 title fights. He refereed last year's Marquez Diaz fight in Houston. Did a good job. Fight was a candidate for Fight of the Year. 72-year-old Dwayne Ford, the happy judge. That's a good portrait of Dwayne's smile. 131 title fights, quite a veteran. Had Pacquiao well ahead over Cotto. Good score. Levi Martinez, one of the three judges who scored Marquez Diaz. Marquez won that fight on a TKO. And had Juan Diaz, the winner over Michael Katsidas, 15-13, pretty good score. It was a close fight. Nelson Vasquez, a Puerto Rican with 101 title fights under his belt. As it's configured for boxing tonight, the attendance here in Dallas Cowboys Stadium is 50,994. All nearly 51,000. We'll see the main event next. Manny Pacquiao against Joshua Clottey about 15 minutes from now. Pacquiao versus Clotty is being brought to you by Cowboys Stadium. Cerveza Tecate, cerveza con carácter. Brought to you by Ninja Assassin. Buy it on Blu-ray Combo Pack and DVD, March 16th. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment. Brought to you by HBO. Let's go to Michael Buffer now for pre-fight national anthem pageantry.
Let's take the town. We'll shut it down. Let's burn the roof. And then we'll do it again. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And do it. And do it. Let's live it up and do it. And do it. And do it. Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. 'Cause I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. A feeling tonight's the night. Hey, let's live it up. Let's live it up. I got my money. Hey, let's spin it up. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it. Like oh my God. Like oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Come on. Let's get oh. Fill up my cup.
Well, as the Soto Diaz fight was coming to a close, a lot of activity taking place all at once as the ring is being organized for the upcoming anthem pageantry. We threw to Michael Buffer at the moment when we anticipated that such a thing would be beginning, but there are still some organizational elements to be tied together. So we give you a look at Joshua Clottey in his dressing room, and there's Manny Pacquiao in his. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for national anthem pageantry.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like everyone to please remain silent for 3 national anthems as we honor challenger and champion and the United States of America. First, at this time, performing tonight's Ghanaian national anthem from Cape Coast, Ghana. Please welcome Soraya Simmons.
God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make our jealous, fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here to sing the Philippine national anthem, we are proud to have with us tonight the current lead singer of the legendary rock band Journey. Please welcome Arnel Pineda.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwal, hatid pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, as we honor America, presenting tonight's colors, the United States Marine Corps. And in the ring, performing the anthem for the United States of America, are 3 Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Brittany Evans, Sarah Gorley, and Christine Gauthier.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, with so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
An outside look at this spectacular stadium. And we cover it with the tail of the tape. Manny Pacquiao and Joshua Clottey. 1 year age advantage for Pacquiao. 1.5 inch height advantage and a 1 inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for the true welterweight in the fight, Joshua Clottey. Clottey weighed in right at 147 pounds, and we have been denied the chance to weigh him unofficially, so we do not know at what weight he will enter the ring. Manny Pacquiao woke up weighing 142 yesterday morning before getting on the scales after breakfast and lunch at 145 3/4. He may not weigh as much as 150 entering the ring tonight. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Manny Pacquiao Joshua Clottey fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell on any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim!
Thank you, Harold. Let's take a look at the biggest boxing crowds in the United States in the course of the last 50 years. Ali Spinks, too, at the Superdome in New Orleans, the largest of those crowds. Whitaker and Chavez drew nearly 60,000 to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and now the number 3 largest boxing crowd in America in the last 50 years, Manny Pacquiao, a Filipino, against Joshua Clottey, a Ghanaian. They draw 51,000, mostly American fans, in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, a football stadium in Arlington, Texas. And there's Joshua Clottey, ready to approach the biggest moment of his life. 3 losses in his career. Losses to Carlos Valdemir, Antonio Margarito, and Miguel Cotto. One by disqualification, the other 2 very close decisions. He believes he's never really lost.
I think he has a reason to feel that way. Most fighters do, but in this case, nobody's ever decisively dominated him in his entire career in a boxing match.
And yet he has come up just short in his biggest fights. And if he's in a competitive fight tonight against Pacquiao, he needs to try to figure out how to avoid coming up just short, how to do enough to actually come away with a win.
At the end of the day, he's a terrific fighter, but there's no X factor. There is no one weapon or one characteristic of Joshua Clottey which defines him in such a way as a fighter to make an imprint on the mind of the boxing public.
Well, maybe his ability to absorb punishment, which is actually not a bad ability to have against Manny Pacquiao, because the assumption is you're going to be getting some punishment.
Indeed.
Well, the thing that bothered me a lot when we asked them for really decisive strategy, exactly what they were planning to do, he didn't really have a plan. He just said, I'll have a defense, and my defense will make him get tired and mentally frustrated, but didn't have a plan. Whereas, on the other hand, Pacquiao and his trainer and his team have a solid plan of moving in and out, punching, and not staying in one spot.
Indeed, the suggestion was that Clotty may be willing to go in and simply try to adjust to Pacquiao upon this, his first experience in the ring with him. Manny Pacquiao is not the kind of fighter to which you want to try to adjust once you're in the ring. You had better have a plan, right?
That's a great statement. You have to have a plan, and you have a backup plan, but at least have a solid plan. I mean, if he's going to just try to come in and block punches, he better be ready as soon as he finishes blocking those punches to move in very fast with his feet, which he doesn't do. Not just to stand in one spot, because Manny's going to be moving away with his feet. So he's going to have to move in very fast and to punch.
And
One thing that, go ahead.
As we discussed earlier, the fact is Pacquiao's looked spectacular, in particular since he moved up from 130 pounds. But when you examine the opposition, David Diaz is ordinary at lightweight. Oscar De La Hoya was finished at junior middle. Ricky Hatton looked to be at the end at junior welterweight. Miguel Cotto coming off a brutal fight against Margarito and then against Clotty at welterweight. Clotty is the first opponent since Pacquiao left junior lightweight who presents an in-his-prime physical specimen that Pacquiao has to try to overcome.
But here is the difficult equation that Clotty must overcome in order to try to win. And that is, in various bouts counted by CompuBox, Joshua Clottey has never thrown more than 62 punches in any one round. 62 punches would be a very slow round for Manny Pacquiao, who's been averaging 75 or 80 as a welterweight.
Clotty is a precision puncher, and his hope has to be that one of those 50 or 60 punches will catch the naturally smaller Pacquiao just right and turn the fight in his favor.
But in terms of winning rounds, the sport now belongs to volume punchers, and Manny Pacquiao is the volume puncher in this fight.
Particularly when it's not like he's pity-patting. Manny Pacquiao's not missing these punches either. He's landing this high volume of punches, and he's landing really effective punches.
But if Clotty blocks a bunch of punches, could that frustrate Pacquiao,
It will frustrate him to some degree, but he's still not going to win a fight by just blocking. He's going to have to return punches. And he's going to have to be prepared in case this fight is close, which I think it has the possibility of being going down the stretch. And as we've always saw in the stretch, the fluid punching got wins. That's what I predicted with Cotto when he fought Joshua. If it goes down the stretch, and Cotto had to flash your hands, and we just saw that in the previous fight. Still a good competitive fight, but the faster hands at the end win, especially when he sets in. And I don't know if he can do that. I will do that.
It's been a long walk to the ring, and Clotty's energy level seems to have been rising during the walk.
The music.
The crowd.
It's home music. No, there's no crowd for him. You can forget that. It's the music, that's all.
Clotty mentioned to me in the locker room, in the dressing room, that if Pacquiao can crack him like he's cracked others, he'll say there's something supernatural about this guy. And you imagine entering the ring against Pacquiao, as Clotty just did. The sense is that you're about to experience something supernatural that you haven't experienced before and that there's no real way to prepare for.
And now here comes the people's choice. Not only the most popular fighter in the world, one of the most popular athletes anywhere on the planet right now. The roar accompanies the sight of Pacquiao on the television monitor. He has not even entered the arena. And look at the joy. Has anyone ever enjoyed his tour at the top of the sport more than this man?
Very seldom. I saw Muhammad Ali naturally. Felix Trinidad. I mean, it's just like some, when the dogs in a fight, and most dogs got maybe the tail between their legs, but you got some dogs that while they're fighting, the tail is just wagging because they love what they're doing, and that's Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao he's the best show on TV. It's not just comparing him to other athletes, it's like you have to look for other comparisons. He's like Chappelle show. You know, the best show on TV, and you want to enjoy him while he's here. He's like the political talk host Rachel Maddow. He's so prepared. He's so persuasive that he embarrasses the opposition. He is spectacle.
There's a look at the definitive Pacquiao punch. The left-hand knockout of Ricky Hatton. And the crowd roars for that one.
Now he begins his one-mile walk.
Ready to please his public. The current reigning king of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
But Jim, does he still have the eye of the tiger? Has he gotten too civilized?
It's a man that loves going to work. He loves his job.
This man loves people. Yes. Loves all people. The more, the better.
Everything that goes with being a superstar.
What a moment. What an entrance. What glory in Texas.
And yet, just when you hear people like us say stuff about fighter like this, is when we've seen in the past, he enters the ring against a prepared opponent, and you get some of the biggest upsets in boxing history.
Well, look at the ambition. Look at the audacity of everything that Pacquiao has done. The realistic question becomes, at what point does he bite off more than he can chew? Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Mr. Jerry Jones, welcomes you to Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas, USA. As Bob Arum and MP Promotions presents the event, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter. Ninja Assassin, available on Blu-ray, Combo Pack, and DVD, March 16th. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless services provider. Sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, Executive Director William Coons. Deputy Director Brian Francis. WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the three judges scoring on the 10-point system will be Dwayne Ford, Levi Martinez, and Nelson Vasquez. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action at the bell, United States Army First Sergeant Rafael Ramos. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. Are you ready? Boxing fans, are you ready? For the 51,000 fans in attendance here at Cowboys Stadium and the millions watching around the world, courtesy of HBO Pay-Per-View. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, standing with head trainer Lenny De Jesus, wearing red with gray, officially weighing in at 147 pounds. An excellent professional record consisting of 35 victories, including 21 knockouts, with only 3 defeats. Tonight, with honor, he fights for hundreds of millions of people on the African continent as he challenges for this world title. Ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of Accra, Ghana, and former welterweight champion of the world, Joshua, the Grandmaster Clotty. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, with his head trainer, Freddie Roach, wearing red, official weight 145, 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 50 victories, including 38 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 2 draws. From Kayumba, Sarangani Province, the former flyweight world champion, former super bantamweight world champion, former featherweight world champion, former super featherweight world champion, former lightweight world champion, former light welterweight world champion, and reigning, defending WBO Welterweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao!
Okay, guys, you receive the pre-fight instruction. Protect yourself and obey my commands, okay? Let's do it.
There's not much better than the moments right before the opening bell of a Manny Pacquiao fight, except for the moments right after the opening bell.
Pacquiao with affectionate final hugs for his trainer Freddie Roach, his physical conditioner Alex Ariza. The bell rings for round 1. Will the magical life of Manny Pacquiao over the course of the past couple of years continue? The difference in hand speed will be immediately apparent.
Step on it, don't step on it.
Pacquiao's left hand was blocked by Clotty's gloves. Clotty is not throwing. He's really only thrown a few punches so far. Pacquiao is seeing most of his stuff blocked, but gets a little left hand in there.
But you know, Clotty right now is fighting his fight, and it's what he should do. He can never try to match Manny with punch for punch. That's not him. But I think the way he's fighting, trying to just get close and eventually start shooting a little pecky right-hand lead through the center is what he's got to do.
Clotty went into his deep defensive guard at that time, both hands up, gloves in front of his face. Pacquiao banged away against his arms as they went to the ropes.
I think these first few minutes have enormous significance. Clotty came out looking like he wants to see what this force of nature is all about, and I think Pacquiao has to impress him here to keep him on the defensive. So far, Clotty doesn't look overly impressed.
Nope, he's given a lot of problems to Manny at this stage right now. Manny cannot figure him out because so far he's not been able to land a punch, but he should have expected that. You know, the talk of him going out and knocking out Clotty, was always ridiculous. I think it's going to be a long fight.
Well, Clotty's so much bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but
and plus he's skilled and talented, particularly as a defender. So how could it be an easy fight?
It can't. You're right. And the best thing that Manny can do is try to catch Clotty when he punches. That's when he's most vulnerable. Not right now.
But already you see the problem for Clotty in terms of the punch output equation. How can he win rounds when he's throwing about 1 punch for every 3 or 4 that Pacquiao releases, or so it appears?
Body shot by Pacquiao. Clotty short with the jab.
It seems unlikely that Clotty can win rounds short of hurting Pacquiao, but he has shown in this first round that he can catch Pacquiao clean.
And just did there with a jab.
Just what I said, he had to come back with a little tail end punches. Right
Hard right hand by Clotty.
Because his right hand and his left hand is so high, the same level of Manny's head, which means it's very easy for him to shoot short, direct punches.
Pacquiao has landed 2 punches on Clotty's belt line, and referee Rafael Ramos has let them both go. Good tactical first round. Both fighters probably did about what they wanted to do. CompuBox numbers will show Manny throwing more.
Take a deep breath for me. Slow down.
Ganun ang gagawin natin. Wala tayong ibang gagawin.
Okay.
Tina?
Nice body's working. Let's keep working that body for me, okay, son? All right? You're working me behind that feint. Yes. Now, when you feint, be ready for this jab or the straight right hand.
Give you another round. I'll tell you when we get in the fight.
So we learn a little bit about Pacquiao's thought process, as in round 1 he throws more jabs than he has ever thrown in any one round counted by CompuBox. Manny threw 79 punches in the round. It was not a good round for him. He only landed 11, but Clotty only threw 35 punches. So how do you win a round when the other man has thrown twice as many punches and is the more dynamic fighter anyway?
Well, as the fight goes on, if Manny gets a little frustrated and loses his spirit because of the fact that he can't land the shot, you'll probably see Clotty start to land them little short punches just like he tried to do right there. Just as Manny backs away and he's relaxing, those little shots come out such a short distance where he can't see them.
The question is, can Clotty at any point hurt Pacquiao with one of these straight shots he's shooting up the middle?
He may not, but as going down the stretch, I think the fight's going to be a very tight fight, I think. And right now, the fight is going more to Clotty's planning, I think, than Manny, because Manny thought he would be able to penetrate a little bit by now, but so far he's not found the solution.
So, will Pacquiao be patient? Can he take several rounds and try to construct a way of picking Clotty apart? Or will he get frustrated and impatient?
Well, I tell you what, he's throwing shots, but he still hasn't been able to do too much. And the main thing, I think he should start preparing himself to try to win a decision, as I said earlier.
Well, he's preparing to win a decision because, unless I'm totally out to lunch here, and barring a big change, he'll exit this round up 2 rounds to nothing on the scorecards. Punch was well below the belt line. It didn't do any real damage. There's another one right on the belt. Rafael is letting both fighters throw at the belt line. There's a combination for Pacquiao, and he manages to rip a left through the guard. Clotty pretends to wobble.
Usually a sign that a fighter's actually hurt. It doesn't look like Clotty was hurt there.
No, Clotty's not hurt. I think really he's getting very comfortable in this fight right now.
Clotty tried the first couple of uppercuts a moment ago. That's what he hopes will be a big weapon. But when he throws the uppercut with the left, Pacquiao will counter with that brilliant right hook of his. That's been a very damaging punch. There's a good left for Clotty, straight onto the face of Pacquiao.
Clotty's landing effective punches. Manny's throwing them, but the really effective, those were short point-to-point punches are more effective from Clotty than from Manny at this stage.
And yet Clotty's losing this round by a wide margin.
Agreed. And Pacquiao is starting to get some leather around Clotty's guard.
He's got to keep trying to find a way to get through. He's got to try to get those points. Scott's going for the points.
Aapakan yun eh. Aapakan yung baka mo. Ingat ka lang.
Yeah, so stay away from that right hand. He moves to your right. Okay, stay away from his power shot. All right, okay. You keep circling him.
Come on, straight in, buddy. Brad, Kasi ginagawa niya, Brad, pag nagkadikitan kayong dalawa.
Okay, let's throw punches now. Okay, baby? You relax now? We're in a fight now. Okay, baby?
Here you see Clotty blocking some shots, and then I think he's going to do his little jig, imitating as if he was hurt. But I think it's part of him getting more relaxed with the situation now.
Too relaxed.
Too relaxed.
Too relaxed. He allowed Pacquiao to throw 96 punches in that round, and he threw 27. It doesn't matter to me if he's landing clean shots. You can't win around that way.
You let Pacquiao really start to move his hands, he'll relax you all the way.
That's right. He'll put you to sleep. I agree with you, Emmanuel, that Clotty feels comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, but Manny's winning the fight. He's doing what he's doing. You got to remember to keep just doing what he's doing, just out-punching this guy. Don't go for a knockout.
Yeah, what Clotty has not been able to do is to stop Pacquiao from throwing so many punches. And he thought maybe he could.
No, he can't stop him from doing that. Manny's going to throw punches. But I don't get a certain point, you start getting a little frustrated still when you're throwing punches, and really for clean punches yourself, you're not landing anything. To me, still, the effective punches are from Clotty. He may be being outworked, but he's landing the effective punches.
Well, I've seen a lot of effective punches from Pacquiao, in fact, more than from Clotty, although not as a percentage of the punches that Pacquiao's throwing. Clotty's making every punch count, but he, as Jim, you say, he needs to throw more of them.
I see Clotty landing the straight punches, the clean punches.
Perhaps, Emmanuel, but he threw 27 and landed 5 in the last round, but Manny threw 96.
I said Manny's winning the fight, but I'm saying the clean, effective punches are still, to me, coming from Clotty.
There's not
enough of them.
Yeah,
it's not enough.
And they're cleaner punches, but even when Clotty's blocking some of these Pacquiao shots, they're partially blocked. They're also partially landing.
And Manny, interestingly, has shown more focus to the body in the first couple rounds than I think I've seen from him in quite a while.
Looks like Pacquiao's also felt Clotty's power more in this third round.
Definitely. His head was snapped up by an uppercut. But nothing stops him from pouring the punches on. A minute left in the round. He's already thrown 61 punches in the round. Hard right hand by Clotty. Best punch of the fight.
And that's going to have to be what Clotty does if he hopes to win.
Well, see, Manning's got to be careful he don't get frustrated after a while of just punching and not hitting nothing but arms. He's got to realize he got to work this guy and try to win this decision and not get frustrated.
One of these crisp counters of Clotty's that you pointed out, Emmanuel, has to land hard enough to hurt Pacquiao, I think, at some point in the fight. It doesn't have to be right now, but at some point he has to throw it with real conviction.
I agree.
Joshua Clottey is doing exactly what he wants to do. But his offensive output is simply too limited for him to be able to compete on the scorecards with Manny Pacquiao at this moment.
Here. Okay. Very nice. How you feel, baby? Good. Good? Okay. Again. Finish with the hooking out.
Okay.
All right? Finish with the hooking out. It's easy.
Kombinasyonan mo.
It's easy.
Tapos panghuli hook, ha?
Just like in the gym, we finish with the hook, it's safe, it's out.
Okay. Kasi paghabang
Here you see, which may be typical of Clotty's effective punches. They're little simple, little straight little shots that he's landing, but the problem is he's not throwing enough of them. But his punches are very effective when he does do them.
CompuBox numbers through round 3. Landed punches, no huge difference. Pacquiao 44. He's got a margin over Clotty, who's landed 26. The difference is Pacquiao has thrown 281, and Clotty has only thrown 100 in the first 3 rounds. So Manny is averaging 93 punches per round in the first 3 rounds, and Clotty is averaging 33. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim. 3-0. 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. You know, Jim, he's so smart, it's amazing. You know, you come out and you see a guy covered up like Winky Wright, hands held high, elbows in tight. What do? You step around. Manny Pacquiao keeps stepping around the guy and whacking him in the ribs and piling up points. Forget the fact that he's breaking him down to the body. I mean, he's, you know, just keeps banging him in the ribs, banging him in his watch. You see, he'll step right there. He steps around and he usually follows it with a hook. There he goes, stepping around again, banging to the body.
Harold,
3-0 Manny.
You agree this is the most body punching we've seen Pacquiao do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, beautiful body punching, no question. This guy's covered up. You can't hit him in the jaw. You bang him in the body.
You know, that said, and Harold, you're right, but we've seen already in 3 rounds, 3.5 rounds, Manny Pacquiao hit cleanly to the head, more than we've seen him hit cleanly to the head in the Diaz, De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto fights combined, I think. And Cotto had some success early.
Yes, he did. Most people gave Cotto a couple of rounds, the first and the fifth.
No. Let's go. Come on.
I'm not sure what Rafael was stopping them for a second there.
Pacquiao looked like threw a right and left hand at the same time, like clapped Clotty.
Harold, what was Rafael dealing with there?
Jim, you can't hit the guy with 2 hands. Manny Pacquiao threw 2 hands at once. Rafael
here we go. Clotty backed into a corner and for a moment was inert as Manny banged away. I'm not sure what's happening to Joshua Clottey and why he's not throwing Emmanuel. There he goes. Went a long time without releasing his hands there.
Yeah, that's Manny's scoring those points too in the meantime.
Well, I think Manny's breaking his guard down. It looks to me as though he's starting to land more. Clotty's still tight, muscular, so controlled. He's like a welterweight tank in there, the way he's built.
Both guys are fighting the fight that they plan to a great degree. It's what's going to be interesting to see who wins out in the end. Because Pacquiao said he's going to be punching, moving in and out, side to side, giving him angles. Clotty said he's going to cover up and try to break his will by just letting him punch himself out. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fight finishes up.
Those are 2 hard body shots for Clotty.
Well, Pacquiao has hurt and knocked fighters out in recent years by hitting them with punches they didn't see coming from awkward angles. And Clotty, because he's paying so much attention to his defense, is not getting hit with those punches.
Clotty scored with a good left hand. There are just too few of them for Clotty. Long stretches without offensive output. Pacquiao is consistently throwing and throwing.
Okay? Come on. Okay.
Josh, use your jab, all right? Use your jab, work your way in. Throw your hooks. If I hook you.
Let's take a chance, baby. Let's take a chance.
Here we see I guess the referee called infraction rule when he like clapped his head between both heads. Something I've never saw did before. And you see him in the corner where Manny just pummeling him right here with some great shots in there. Nothing that landed that clean, but it was enough to get excitement and got everyone, including me, thinking that maybe Clotty was hurt.
Yeah, on the replay, saw nothing landed.
I was impressed that Pacquiao was throwing 93 punches around in the first 3 rounds. In the 4th round, he threw 116 and moved his landed punches number up to 24. Clotty was 10 out of only 21 punches thrown.
Well, that's what Manny's going to have to do to win this fight, because he's going to have to go for a decision. And, you know, going down the stretch, he's got to be ready to hold up just in case this man starts putting a little bit more punches together in addition to just walking in.
Well, right here you see Clotty applying a little more pressure early in this round, though he's still not moving his hands.
We mentioned several times in building up to the fight that Clotty is fighting for the first time with trainer Lenny DeJesus, and DeJesus has spent most of his career as a cut man, not as a trainer. In fact, he was Manny Pacquiao's cut man in Pacquiao's last loss against Eric Morales in 2005. Clotty wanted a trainer who worked with him earlier in his career in Ghana, Godwin Cotto, to come here and handle him for this fight. But the United States Immigration Department did not allow a visa for Cotto. And that left Clotty having to fight in what amount to makeshift circumstances for him. He's such a veteran, and he's so deeply ingrained in his own style that it's hard to imagine it would affect him all that much. But of course, you always want to have the training camp with the trainer you prefer.
Yeah, but I was not super impressed with his trainer before, so I think Lenny DeJesus would do very well. But I mean, psychologically, it would be a problem for him. But I was understanding that he was going back and forth between the trainers recently anyway, even before this guy was.
Well, he didn't want the trainer who trained him in New York for the Cotto fight. He wanted Godwin Cotto, who had worked with him earlier in his career. That's who he couldn't get. And now he winds up with DeJesus as sort of a last resort. Pacquiao, of course, his relationship with Freddie Roach is probably the strongest relationship of any fighter and trainer in this sport.
Now, this is when Manny has a good chance to try to hurt Cotto when he starts punching, and that's when he leaves himself open a little bit. See that? When he punches, he pulls his head up. And that's when Manny has to try to catch him, when he's punching himself.
And when Clotty just guards like this and doesn't let his hands go, he's giving the fight away. Yeah, he has no chance.
If he punches himself, he may get caught, so that's his safety factor.
I'm not sure Joshua Clottey came to win tonight.
Breathing. Baby, we gotta take a chance, okay? Come on. I know you're in a fight. Come on, we gotta take chances. Move up. Unload. Come on. What are you waiting for? Come on, you kiss ahead.
Let's take a look at a punch zone graphic, which will show you where Manny Pacquiao is landing his punches through 5 rounds. And look at the body shots. 41 out of his 84 landed punches are body shots, relatively equally distributed, 24 of them with the left hand, 17 with the right hand. That's been the heart of the Pacquiao attack tonight. Average per round through 5 rounds, Pacquiao 16 out of 99, Clotty 9 out of 30. Pacquiao has won 5 consecutive rounds to start the fight.
No, Pacquiao is not hurting Clotty. He is reducing Clotty to what he reduces all fighters to that he's fought recently. He's overwhelming Clotty. This is not as though Clotty's not fighting as he normally does. This is how he fights. He likes to block punches before he counters, and Pacquiao's offense is so overwhelming, Pacquiao never stops punching and Clotty never stops blocking.
In the last 30 years, there have been 3 star fighters from Ghana. The very great Azuma Nelson fought to win in every fight. No flies on him. And both Ike Quartey and Joshua Clottey have been spectacularly talented in the ring.
But going down the stretch in those close fights, Quartey never did stretch out. He was going to a safety zone. That's why he lost his big fights. And at this stage right here, this fighter here looks like he's the same type. He's come from the same mold. He's got the talent, but he seems to be still a little too reserved. And word of getting tired.
Not willing to lay himself on the line to try to win the fight.
Right. But this is how Clotty fights, and normally it's enough to win, except when he stepped up against the best guy.
But he knew he was fighting Manny Pacquiao.
When he steps up in class, he loses.
And what we all knew is that he would have to be someone he's not to win. We're asking a lot of him.
Right. He's being who he is.
And I think it's really a testament to Pacquiao so far.
Well, if this is the verdict and we're going to watch 12 rounds of this, then Pacquiao's too good. Throws too much, moves too much, commands the ring too much. He's been in charge of the ring.
And yet Clotty is landing.
Yep, lands both of those right hands. Lands that combination. But now here comes Manny.
This is a very active round by Clotty standards, and Pacquiao still
stomping him.
I think he would do more if he would throw more punches, meaning Clotty. But, you know, somewhere along the line, I know Manny is a machine, but, you know, I don't know if he's going to get tired physically or mentally.
But Emmanuel, as you mentioned, Clotty doesn't open up because that's when Manny Pacquiao catches opponents in combinations, in exchanges. Well, the best way to stay on your feet is not to open up against Pacquiao.
It's another onslaught by Pacquiao to cement the round. His 4-hour workouts are becoming legendary in the sport. So if he gets tired, that's an event. And once again, in the round, Pacquiao is going to throw close to 100 punches, 94, and Clotty threw 35. You cannot win the fight.
Let's create openings now, okay? Let's create openings. Let's take a chances, huh? Come on, baby. 7th round coming up. Breathe in. Breathe in.
Let's get smart. Let's feint. That's how he's gonna jab, you hook over it. Be ready for the hook. Okay. All right? Okay, yes. The feint's gonna draw it out. Feint. All right? He jabs, hook, hard hook over the top.
Past the halfway point of the fight, round 7 begins. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 6-0, obviously. 60-54, Manny Pacquiao. I got to tell you something, Jim. People may hate me for saying this, but you know what? This guy's fighting scared. I mean, he doesn't want to open up. Lenny DeJesus is begging him, open up, punch. He won't do it. And he won't
just
do
opened
it.
up
Wait
there,
a minute,
Harold.
Max. Everybody said he was the bigger guy, the stronger guy. He opens up once in a while, but just like Jim says, not nearly enough to win a round. He's already given up 6 rounds, and every time Manny Pacquiao steps around and attacks him, he covers up. I mean, the guy is fighting a scared fight, and that's all there is to it. Manny Pacquiao winning all these rounds with clean, effective punching. 6-0 Pacquiao.
I mean, the reality of Pacquiao is, first of all, Clotty opened up a little bit there. He had momentary success. But if you open up against Pacquiao, when it is unwise to do so, you go to sleep. And so to fight a scared fight, I mean, he's clear, you know, Clotty's not known for a high output in the first place. And now he's facing a guy who can punch and who's throwing 100 punches around and stepping around him and boxing him beautifully. You move your hands at your own peril.
A big thing is that Clotty just isn't trying to counter Pacquiao. He's not taking advantage of Pacquiao's aggression in any way. That's what he would have to do, it seems to me, to win the fight.
He don't want to take a risk.
Well, you can't win unless you're going to take a risk. I mean, you're already down 6 rounds against the best fighter in the world. Give yourself a shot. That's what Lenny DeJesus is trying to say.
Well, champions are made on the inside. I've always said that. It's made from the way they think and the heart. It's not so much all the time the skills. And that's why Manny is the champion and he is the challenger. He doesn't want to take the risk. He doesn't think like a champion.
Marte was right there with De La Hoya for 12 rounds. Yeah. Oscar took risks in the 12th round and knocked him down.
And everything you're saying, guys, is right. But I see a mouse on Manny Pacquiao's right eye. I've seen him hit here in this fight more than he's been hit against, as I mentioned, De La Hoya, Cotto, Diaz, Hatton. I mean, he's beaten the hell out of everybody recently. Clotty's not the only one. In fact, he's doing a little better than those other guys.
Yep. Good quick hook by Pacquiao as Clotty was trying to come in. Pacquiao's defense and ring generalship have been good too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been watching his defense.
Stayed off the ropes.
Yep. Very good defense.
Okay. Let's be creative. Let's throw punches now, okay? 1 second. Water. Put your head here. Put your head here.
How we doing?
Oh, excellent. He's good. He's alive. Come on.
Good job, Manny. Now here. Don't stand in front of him still. I need a little movement with the tie and shoulder movement, okay?
Ginawag lang, ginawag lang. Okay lang?
Yes.
Okay lang?
Without movement, he sees the count better, okay? You need a little bit of movement at all times.
Good, Brad. Kasi pag hindi tayo gumalaw, susuntok siya.
CompuBox numbers in the 7th round. Pacquiao 16 out of 88. He's still not connecting at a Manny Pacquiao-like percentage, but he's still throwing a Manny Pacquiao-like number of punches. Clotty was 7 of 39. What's significant about the 39 punches? Well, those are the most punches that Clotty has thrown in any round in this fight. But the welterweight average is about 56. So he hasn't been even within range of an average welterweight's offensive output at any time in the fight. Pacquiao, on the other hand, is averaging nearly 100 punches thrown per round against a guy who's bigger and stronger. Manny Pacquiao is amazing. It's as simple as that.
I guess that's my point, Jim, is I see this as a brilliant Pacquiao more than a scared Clotty.
Remember, of course, that regardless of the outcome of tonight's fight, Pacquiao begins a political campaign for a position in the national legislature of the Philippines on March 26th. And if he's elected, he enters the legislature as a representative in July. And who knows what that would do to his boxing career, or even to his popularity as a Filipino icon. They don't love politicians the same way they do athletes.
Time out! Time out! You okay? Time out. Bring it up, okay? Okay? Time in! Let's go!
Accidental headbutt. Oh, low blow.
Also, Clotty, while being physically strong and having talent, is not exactly an A-plus talent fighter. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the biggest puncher.
More like an A-minus talent fighter.
Yes.
And at the end of the day,
You okay? Let's go.
maybe
You
never
okay?
enough offensive
Let's go.
game to really go to the top. There you go. 4-punch, 5-punch, 6-punch combination. Body shot, bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. Do you want to throw sometime? Bang. This is the Manny Pacquiao who has dominated boxing for the past 3 years. Bang. Bang, 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 bang.
And when
Do you want to
Pacquiao
throw back? Bang. Keep coming.
When Pacquiao starts doing this, now I tend to agree, Clotty has to do something to keep him off.
No.
He is another one-sided round.
Yeah.
Let him relax. Let him relax. He's okay. I'm sorry about that.
Listen, you gotta keep it clean, okay?
I'm sorry.
Let's go.
No problem. Relax. We're losing every round. So let's get to it. We're losing every damn round. Come on. You're going back to...
In and out, okay?
Okay.
That was beautiful, that round. In and out. You can't touch it. All right? Combinations out, make a miss, okay? Remember, he's going to throw back when you finish, so you can't stand in front of him.
Hindi siya
Okay?
sumusuntok pag bumibitaw ka. Let's go, Seco! Let's go! Back off. Let's
In
go.
8 rounds, Manny Pacquiao's thrown 785 punches. He threw 104 of them in the last round. Or was it 118? Well, at any rate, it was a huge number.
bang, 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 as I pointed out. And Clotty did not have an answer in the corner when Lenny DeJesus said, "You're losing every damned round."
Well, he's used to that, I guess. He just doesn't want to stretch out and take any risk at all. He's trying to win safety, but it's not going to happen. He realizes that this guy's out punching him, and when he does punch, he doesn't land that clearly on Manny anymore. He needs to step it up, but he's not willing to take that risk.
First half of the fight, I would say that Clotty wasn't out of his mind to play some defense and try to pick his shots when he could.
Right.
Hard shots.
But
now we're into the point of the fight. Now we're in the 9th round. He's lost every round. He's starting to get tagged more cleanly and more frequently. Now is the time in the fight where I wholeheartedly agree Clotty must really take chances because the win is already out of reach if he doesn't. It's going to have to be a knockout for him to win.
I'm sorry, whether he was intimidated by Pacquiao's reputation or intimidated by what Pacquiao did in the ring, or whether he didn't mentally prepare in such a way to be ready to take the risks, he hasn't given himself any chance in the fight.
Well, this is him fighting his regular fight to me.
Yeah, early
this
on.
is his regular fight.
There you go. Best attack of the night by Joshua Clottey.
But Manny's doing the Clotty on him.
He's covering up.
He's blocking those shots.
Yep.
And hoping he can keep him punching like that and maybe he can catch him.
Manny's defense has improved during the fight.
Yes, it is.
And he's still able to release his hands freely inside and out. Like that. And that. What an amazing combination puncher this man is. What a fabulous offensive fighting machine.
Yes, and Clotty has never been in this type of a challenge. And to me, I see him just falling apart mentally.
Early on, he seemed to be trying to take Pacquiao's measure. Look at this. I can hit him cleanly. Maybe I can set him up. And at some point along the way, Pacquiao, it seems, has convinced him he can't win the fight.
Sportsman-like touching of the gloves at the end of the 9th round. Tacit acknowledgement by Clotty. Yep, you've got me.
Come on. Let me hold it. Relax. Relax. You're taking a whipping, baby. Let's go. What's going on? Come on. We haven't won a round, baby. We're going to do something. Come on.
We did on the miss, remember? All right? But here, you have to be set when you land, okay? You have to be ready, okay? All right? Quick 1-2, out, right hand, left hook.
You know, I just caught Joshua Clottey's eyes. He came into the ring and he gave me a look of discouragement.
Yep. You know, when you're fighting for a championship of the world with everything on the line, millions of dollars, and you're not even throwing punches, I mean, there's no excuse for that. You know, you sort of let everything hang out. Even if you get knocked out, at least go out fighting.
Tough fight to score, Harold.
The only thing tough about this fight is you wonder if you should give Manny Pacquiao a 10-8 round. He's winning these rounds so big. That's the only tough part, Jim. 9-0, 90-81. Manny Pacquiao based on all those clean punches. I mean, and like you said, ring generalship and good Manny Pacquiao defense. See that? He blocked those shots. I mean, he's just winning these rounds convincingly. So, you know, you sit there wondering, should you give him the extra punch? Should you give him the extra point? But Joshua Clottey throws just enough to avoid the 10-8 round. 9-0 Pacquiao.
And as Manny Pacquiao continues to bang away against Joshua Clottey's guard, occasionally getting a punch around the guard or through it. And Clotty throws one punch at a time, as he's done all night long. Our Max Kellerman winds up in the Pacquiao corner with training Lenny DeJesus. Max, take it away.
Lenny DeJesus, early on, Clotty seemed to be countering at times effectively, never moving his hands enough. At this point, he obviously needs something dramatic to win. What's going on?
I'm telling you, he went back to his old style. We're trying to push him to throw more punches, because if he throws punches, he create openings, but he's not doing that. I think he's being too cautious. In the game, he has to take a chance, but he's not.
Why do you think that is?
I think he's feeling Manny Pacquiao's power, and he doesn't want to take the chance. Simple as that.
Thanks, Lenny.
Fascinating. 2 years ago, Pacquiao was fighting at 135. Now Lenny believes that Clotty is scared of his power.
I think exactly the same way. I think he felt that power advantage, and then he took it, so he didn't want to take a risk. And that's just why Manny is a champion. Manny will gamble. You know, when you're fighting for the championship, you don't try to win the title from a champion. You take it from him. You come in with that attitude, I'm going to take it. This is mine. Give it to me.
Well,
and he's not fighting that way. He's just trying to just survive. You know, don't get hurt. You know, do that later on, but you're fighting for the championship of the world, man. Let it all go.
Now, here's another point, and you just made this point about Pacquiao, really. You cannot be a great offensive fighter without taking risks. Manny Pacquiao is never afraid to take risks.
Right. And that's why he's a champ. You know, and to me, such a drastic change after being with a fighter like Tommy Hearns. When you tell him sometimes to play it safe, he says, no, I've got to go out and fight. I mean, it's really frustrating like that.
Pacquiao is having to work. Pacquiao is taking some punches. Pacquiao is getting hit and bruised. Pacquiao is winning big.
This is the 11th round, okay? I know you got the power to knock him out, and you got the strength, and you're in condition. Take chances, baby. Let's take a chance in this round coming up. If you don't take a chance, we go home lost, okay? Here, take this. Come on. Listen, take a chance. Take a chance. He's tired. He's desperate. Okay?
Maiksi lang. Maiksi lang. Binat lang. Okay lang?
Manny Pacquiao threw 120 punches in the 10th round, landed 27. His connect percentage is going up, and he has already, with 2 rounds to go, thrown more punches in this fight than in any fight he has ever appeared in before.
Because he's had to, and he did it. Whatever he had to do, he did it. He saw he wasn't going to land the clean punches or the knockout. He said, let me just start putting these, you know, they're like putting money in the bank. Start building up. And that's what I thought he should do, and he's doing a great job.
And I'll tell you what, Emmanuel.
Let's go.
I never really said this before. Of all of Pacquiao's fabulous assets, I'm beginning to think that his greatest is his heart.
Well, he thinks and fights like a champion. And that's what makes him. Champions are made on the inside.
And it's especially good when on the outside you're as fast as anyone, a very hard puncher, and have endless stamina.
.213, 212, 210. Time running down. Lenny DeJesus asked Clotty to take a chance. Hasn't happened so far.
But you see, who are we expecting to show up tonight? Clotty seemed to be winning the Cotto fight late and eased off the accelerator and wound up losing a fight he could have won against an inactive opponent.
Very Quartet-like.
But I think also he's felt the power of Manny Pacquiao too, and I think that's increased his tendency to hold back.
And you see
and
when
his hesitation.
When he came out early in this round after DeJesus exhorted him to take chances, he tried to kind of take a chance in his way early in the round and then got discouraged and went back to who he is.
See what Manny's doing.
What
he gets hit with
body
back,
punching.
and he comes right back. If you hit me, I'm going to come back with 5 more punches.
That's
what
the
a champion
competitor
does.
in his
Right. And Clotty, it doesn't have that in him. That's the difference.
Oh, what a display. What an amazing display by Pacquiao. Clotty's having maybe his best round, and Pacquiao is rising to the occasion.
Take it right back from him. He's not going to let him have it.
uppercuts. Pacquiao comes back with the right hook, as you knew he would.
See that?
Good one, too, by Pacquiao. Savages Clotty with the left hand.
But Manny's going to take this part of this round right back. He's not going to let him
Absolutely right.
out. That's it.
He'll let Clotty have a couple of punches here and there, but then he rallies. In the books. 1 round to go. Manny Pacquiao is blowing the roof off of Dallas Cowboys Stadium. What can't he do?
Well, no one's ever knocked Clotty out.
Oh, man, you need a knockout. We don't do a knockout, we go home with nothing. Come on. Breathe in, breathe. Breathe in. Water.
Last round coming up. Last round.
In its way, this is more impressive to me, Emmanuel, than watching Manny knock out Oscar De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton.
He's been put to the test. He's been hit, and he's stayed back and with resolve to make it still won every round virtually still. And if you give Clotty a round, you give it to him because he did better in one than he did another. But he hasn't really won a round.
No, somebody might give him a sympathy round.
Well, this is going to be a very
I don't see which
interesting
one.
round.
I don't see which sympathy round you could give to Clotty.
I agree.
It's a shutout.
Let's see who closes the show.
Clotty's never been knocked out.
Manny landed 36 punches in the 11th round, his high number for the fight. Maybe he has softened Clotty up.
And you're right, though. This is more impressive because here's a fight where he's fighting a guy who doesn't punch much. I mean, he's got to throw almost double what he normally would have to throw in with an opponent who would be punching back.
Look, we know what Clotty is. He's not an elite champion, pound-for-pound kind of fighter. But we also know he's an...
Come on, let's go.
They bump heads again.
You okay? You okay? Let's go. Come on, clean. Last round, let's go.
Incidentally, both sportsmanlike and they like each other. You know, Clotty wasn't able to generate any animosity toward Pacquiao if it would have helped him.
It wouldn't have made any difference.
We do know that Clotty is a top welterweight, no excuses in his prime, and we've seen what he's done against other top welterweights, barely lost, and he can't win a round against Pacquiao.
And it's not that he's been getting hit that much. He can't win around because he's not willing to throw punches. And that's the thing. And Manny doesn't hit him with that many clean punches, but he's just outworking him. He's doing just what he has to do.
Somewhere tonight, both Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather are likely watching this. Scouting report, so to speak. Surely, the winner of Mosley-Mayweather on May 1 is going to be looking forward to the possibility of getting together with Pacquiao. What are they seeing? What are they looking at as they watch this? Surely in Mayweather's mind, he's looking at someone whom he can bottle up and defend the way he has done to virtually every other opponent in his career.
Well,
in Mosley's mind, he's probably thinking, I'll trade with him. Let's see if he's as hard a puncher as I am.
Well, that is the fight, even though it doesn't have a marquee value, that is the fight that would be the best fight that could be made, would be Shane Mosley to me. And this man here.
Two offensive fighters.
Two offensive minds, guys who always come right back with flourishes whenever they get hit. I mean,
in terms of what would occur in the ring, absolutely right. You can't make a better spectacle in terms of the action in the ring and the level at which it would be contested than Mosley and Pacquiao.
Manny's grinning again with a minute to go.
In terms of the event and what the world wants to see, there's nothing that comes close to Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Regardless of what much excitement is generated during the fight itself, that fight is a fight that the public wants and has made themselves. My dream fight with all of it, Manny Pacquiao and a prime Aaron Pryor.
Let's go.
The rest of the world's dream fight is Pacquiao and Mayweather, and their dream can come true if Mayweather takes care of business against Mosley.
Down the stretch they come. It looks as though Manny Pacquiao's spectacular winning streak continues as he hammers Joshua Clottey to the finish. If Clottey won a round, in my view it was the 12th. Maybe it was a shutout. Either way, it was another spectacular performance by Manny Pacquiao, and thoroughly entertaining apparently for the 51,000 fans on hand.
Letterman didn't find the courtesy round to give to Clotty. 120 to 108. That is an honest scorecard and a fair reflection of the fight. Wayne Ford of Nevada is down here scoring tonight. 131 title fights. You know him well. Had Pacquiao ahead of Cotto, having won every round. Most people gave Cotto 1 or 2 rounds. Levi Martinez of New Mexico, 42 title fights. Was in Houston last year to score Marquez Diaz, which was a candidate for Fight of the Year. Nelson Vasquez, Puerto Rico, very experienced. Had Mosley ahead of Margarito, 78-73. At the moment when Shane knocked Margarito out. And now, let's go to Michael Buffer to find out the scores on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Cowboys Stadium, we go to the scorecards. Dwayne Ford scores at 120 to 108. Levi Martinez, 119-109. Nelson Vasquez, 119-109. All three to the winner by unanimous decision. The fighting pride of the Philippines, and still WBO Welterweight Champion of the World, Manny Pacquiao.
Another dominant performance, another marquee victory for boxing's king of the world.
What a good fight. He did what was necessary to win this fight.
Well, one thing that was necessary was to stay active, take risks, and dominate Clotty with his offensive output. If that was the plan, he did it perfectly. And more than 100 punches per round, a low connect percentage. That was to be expected against Clotty's tortoiseshell defense. But look at that. He threw 832 more punches in 12 rounds than did Joshua Clottey. That's extraordinary. And Punch Zone demonstrates that this was the most prolific body punching performance of Pacquiao's career, landing 108 body punches through the course of the fight, and that helped him to ultimately boost his accuracy upstairs as well. Clotty simply did not try hard enough to score offensively to give himself a chance to be in the fight. Let's go to Max Kellerman with the winner.
Congratulations, Manny, on another in a string of maybe unprecedented performances. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, you know, it's not an easy fight. It's hard. He's very tough fighter, and you know, I can't believe it.
Early in the first round, according to CompuBox, you threw more jabs than you'd ever thrown in any round in your entire career. Why?
Well, that's our strategy. Throw a lot of jab in, and when he coming inside, we're gonna throw a hook uppercut.
Early in the fight, it seemed you had a hard time hitting him cleanly, even though you were winning rounds, and he was able to land some clean punches, some clean counters. What were your thoughts at that time?
Well, I know. I mean, he's not easy opponent. I mean, I thought he's like somebody else that I knock him out in every round. But you know, his mistake. He's a very tough opponent, and you know, he's a good fighter.
Did you feel his power early in the fight at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's strong. He's strong enough.
As the fight wore on, and it didn't seem that he was willing to really engage you in exchanges, did you think to yourself you had a chance to knock him out?
I mean, I'm not in a hurry because he's looking for a big shot, and you know, open for my style, and I know he's waiting for a timing, you know, counter puncher.
You stay right there because we need to come back to you, Joshua, quickly. I want to ask you, now that you just went, obviously you guys like each other. After you just went 12 rounds with Manny Pacquiao, what was that like? What's it like to fight Manny Pacquiao?
Well, he has speed. He has speed, and at the same time, I can tell you this is the first time I've lost a fight. I understand this one that I lost a fight. All my fights that I've lose, I never think I lose.
You seemed reluctant to exchange punches with him. Why was that?
Yeah, because you see, he's fast and he's trying to. He's waiting for me to open, to counter me. That's why I'm taking my time. But I realized that I have to exchange punches with him. That's what I was trying. But he's fast.
Thank you, Joshua. Manny, Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley have a big fight on May 1st. That's not an easy fight for Floyd Mayweather. It's a fight Mosley can beat anybody. But assuming Floyd Mayweather wins that fight, what are your thoughts about fighting him? That's the fight the world wants to see.
I mean, I want that fight because the people want that fight, want to see that good fight. But you know, it's up to him if he's going to fight with me.
Why is it up to him?
I mean, for me, nothing problem to fight him. You know, we're ready to fight anytime. But I don't think he's ready for now. But maybe some of the time, someday he will fight.
There seemed to be an impasse in the negotiations over testing. Is there any compromise that can be reached between your position and Floyd's position should Floyd win against Mosley?
He should win against Mosley because, you know, if not, you know, maybe Mosley and I will fight.
Thank you, Manny. Freddie, what are your thoughts about a Pacquiao-Mayweather fight should Mayweather beat Mosley?
Well, it's a fight the world wants to see. The audience wants to see it. Me and Manny want to see it. I mean, Floyd, let the commission do their jobs. Let them run the rules. You don't run the sport. Get in the ring and fight us.
You have told me that Manny imitates Floyd in sparring. What is this about?
Well, Manny's a little disappointed in Floyd for his accusations. He makes fun of him a little bit when we're in the gym, and he shows me how we crush that defense. And we will crush him.
Can we see how you crush the Mayweather defense, Manny? How do you crush the Mayweather defense when you're imitating him sparring?
I mean, I think his style is not difficult style like Clotty. You know, it's easy to study, but we have to train hard on that fight if that fight is supposed to. But he need to do his business on his next fight.
Thank you, Manny. Congratulations on another unbelievable performance.
And I want to thank to all the people who come here tonight. Everybody, this fight, I will dedicate it to you. This fight is dedicated to you, all of you who are watching here tonight, and to all the boxing fans. This fight is dedicated to all of you, especially to my in the Philippines, to Sarangani province. Thank you. This fight will be dedicated to all of you in the honor of our country.
Jim?
All right, Max, thanks very much. So another tremendous performance by Manny Pacquiao, and in the post-fight interview, as expected, they call out Floyd Mayweather. But on May 1, Mayweather and Mosley fight, and really, you know, both men have a chance to win that fight. Yeah. What thoughts do you have off of what you saw tonight regarding Pacquiao's chances against either Mosley or Mayweather?
Manny Pacquiao's chances against anyone is good. He's a complete fighter. He's a machine. He did, I thought, a great job tonight. I was very impressed with this fight, just as much as some of his knockouts. He did what he had to do to win the fight. He knew he wasn't going to land many clean, effective punches, so he just went to work and outpunched the guy. And every time that seems like Clotty was trying to get back into the fight with a punch, he would come right back and take that round away from him again. I thought he's going to be difficult for anybody, I think, to fight, because he throws so many punches, so many angles, and he can mix it up. He can punt lightly, and when once he tightens up on his punches, he can hurt anybody. So I think it's going to be a rough fight for him, whether it was Shane Mosley or with Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather's a fight that everybody wants to see, and I want to see also.
Emmanuel, over the course of the last 35 years, we've seen a lot of great offensive fighters in boxing. I'll name just a few. Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and then, you know, we go forward to other great offensive fighters, Roy Jones, and eventually you get to this era. Is Pacquiao as good as any of those guys?
I think so. I have to look at his record. I mean, he's been going now for about 6 years. with the top elite fighters from 122 now to 147, and it's been performing admirably. It only lost once, and he didn't knock that guy out twice. And we looked at the welterweight division, we look at those 4 guys, and what's so amazing, he's not really even a welterweight, and he's right there in the mix of it. He's still nothing but a lightweight, and he's an amazing man.
Not even a welterweight.
No.
And yet we were told tonight by the strongest welterweight in the world's temporary trainer that he thought that fighter was scared of Pacquiao's power. What an amazing statement, right, Max?
Manny Pacquiao is something maybe that's never been seen before. Maybe we'll never see it again. He is a fighter of historically great proportions. But I want to say this about the potential fight with Mayweather. My apologies to Shane Mosley, because clearly Mosley's capable of beating anybody. But the fight that the world has really wanted to see tonight, wants to see it at some point this year, is Pacquiao and Mayweather. And when you think about why that fight fell apart, Mayweather insisting Pacquiao takes a drug test, implicit in that insistence is that Mayweather's saying, hey, I've seen this guy Manny Pacquiao. I don't believe someone can be that good, and I don't want to have to fight that guy. On the other hand, to be fair to Mayweather, he's not asking Pacquiao to subject himself to anything that Mayweather won't subject himself. They're only days apart in terms of the testing. Pacquiao's camp wants 14 days, Mayweather's 24 days, or vice versa. Certainly there should be some arrangement reached, because as Jay Greenberg wrote in the New York Post, when Pacquiao's excuse for not wanting to test even 14 days out was that he felt weak giving blood, Jay Greenberg in the New York Post wrote, he could not have felt nearly as weak as that excuse. So at this moment, it looks like Mayweather's unwilling because he's scared to fight Pacquiao, and Pacquiao doesn't want to subject himself to the same tests as Mayweather. When you really look at it, they're not that far apart. This is a fight that the world is absolutely demanding happens, and should Mayweather beat Mosley, it must happen.
All right, Max, an impassioned plea, and let's hammer home the point one more time. Our next HBO pay-per-view event will come to you live from Las Vegas on May 1, and it will be the Welterweight Championship of the World Showdown between the current reigning welterweight champ, Shane Mosley, and Floyd Mayweather, who regards himself, and many regard him, as the best welterweight in the world. They'll meet on May 1. The winner is expected to call out Manny Pacquiao, whichever fighter he is. So, Pacquiao versus Clotty has been brought to you by Cowboys Stadium. Cerveza Tecate. Tecate, or Cerveza con Carácter. Brought to you by Ninja Assassin. Buy it on Blu-ray Combo Pack and DVD March 16. Great wings and knockout taste. Wingstop, the wing experts. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. We'd also like to thank the following internet partners. You can get exclusive updates from HBO's Facebook and Twitter sites, and as always at HBO.com, the online home of HBO Boxing. We remind you, spring forward tonight on your clocks to stay up with daylight savings time. And now for our entire crew, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas.